palms converted into scrolls. Under their waists are foliage and other carvings, bore up an architrave from which was raised a light covering arched, interwoven with branches, through which the sky beyond was seen. Their habits were mixed between ancient and modern, shoulders trimmed with knots of pure silver. In the upper parts where any earth could fasten were some strange forms, so high as the top pierced the clouds. The chorus of the beloved people came forth, led by Concord and the good genius of Great Britain, their habits being various. They go up to the state and sing. Small wax models define the musculature of attitude struck. Someone nearby looks up pertinent actions, attempts escape, or accepts confinement in an ideal plaster écorché with lids. A foreshortened future in a stripped monochrome drips up against gravitational pull, or manners an easily recognised pout, stylish behind itself, flame gestures ornate to ceiling. Stubbs sticks to horses, envious as a real work of art trots by, and the sinews wilt among materially assumed setups, and learned behaviours that bring flesh upon you by the book, unleashed in sight and overturned, battered to a codface, or found floating in vats of abstraction, all flat anatomy and fugitive sheets hidden beneath emotional zones mapped, and covered by the skin of public transports, an anatomical study of the swooning virgin supported by two holy women, takes the escalator in search of famous states of mind districts, and is disappointed by the lack of opportunities for concrete interventions. There is the use of ropes and pulleys for support in tiring or difficult poses. The classical lycra sheen body that opens with a hinge is set on silent mode so as not to disturb those in the bleachers worried about missing a single strike. Snares for silence in required voice. Snares for silence. Snares for noise. Exclude welcome. Welcome excludes. Against its own extreme falls. If unfettered her voice requires. Bodies rendered. Needy. Incomplete. Only the problem, reproduction, not. For what is heard, apparently must be. Seen throwing its trembling body forward, quaint, if flesh speaks. True, how dull herrings make. A machine for right process. Sounds differently, exceeds comfort. Barriers at map. Maps memorise the invisible fence around General Saunter, remembers the wall in the head, once deadly borders, now nested, songbirds occupy, forgotten how, for them, no space of patterns gone, disrupts erstwhile barriers, while cross-links howls up watchtowers, absorbs where ends once stalked, met what cat calls a free whirl, read while deer trail traditional lies now wild with GPS receivers, reports that she cannot cross what mothers established then, yellow collars report wearers, location blocks to avoid conflict, data dots to a stubborn refusal, blinking on electronic leash, memorize the invisible maps fenced for general slaughter. It restrains beyond buildings, move flesh, thus hues of slobbery unfold, scalings, I shrink impinges, classical, skits how feebles it dross for yowl, earnest pom-pom, an oval bursts at, vista, tada, lone obstacle, I blinks, thrown across aisle of raging teats, furniture slippery in its unwonted street curve, Nina, columns boss to a consqueal, jokes a distance. But plastic as marble or gold as fluid, invisible as money, as solidity springs, a leaky mass or a spear, bigger than a pine on a mountain inside a glass, trained on the piercing moon, Saint Teresa crying in the same stone that she is rigid, not hypnotic in two kinds of drapery, repelled by love for froth in good stucco. Charge fixes to beat, all motion, all slurp, regular pangs, for pain, clearance, run. A hide for setting, an animal in general as opposed to human being what distinctions gather in gasps breathe. Someone saw one puncture a Wellington boot on a particular frequency, broadcast the stretch and shot placement to explore how fast they move through at dusk. No telephones answering live call-in shows, no reality tapes. This sound is only this sound, emits a high pitch, activates culture for deer, warning thereby defines a particular series or zone of the roadway by gifting marks, its own sound, signature, barking, spelt damage. Hearts drive by heroes, rot passageworks, sight, sylvan slivers, spaces. By passing through oral topiary, moving is listening through reaches. A destination. Whistle heard above traffic and velvet over familiar, threatened, secure in use. 7 radio transmitters activate headlights. Strobe drove at overlap through zone. Material picked up, mixed by speed, location and trajectory. Startles to stop. Tracks as vehicles pass safely on every life. Bolstered in material. Certainly devices, machines daily assembled in 1966. For themselves, only inside. Head down, ready to attack. Domesticates noise from wild. These decoys sweep reliability. What wolf puts up his parka hood? Stars too imitate the silhouette. One flawed, stage-struck shout lifts her bow or gun as antlers. Drawn, it will approach. Correctly, to live them out in face, splayed out. How not to be physical about that? Strip danceable utterly to avoid all humans. Rejoin their own speech heard. Riffs struggle up dayglow, snares in human form. Alarmed at neat fringe of hiding. As do-it-yourself tough, just a persona found protruding from a vulva-shaped crack in the tree. Birthed this familiar yawn. Velveteen girls, pale, what no single word covers, swept away tame, marked by stones, reindeer carved beyond map space, slits historical. I give you the naturally made up, disgust me, or look for something else. Say, this goose sticks, they can't play, is part tattoo. For ink stylizes movement, from function, towards legend and never seen, unsteady vocal, sounds defect, earplug detachment. She Xerox lyrical, demands migrations, explores tryout, return as European or American Rudolph invented by advertising. Copywriter 1939, gifted economies, wrapping stone and skin in the same impulse, surface connections not erratically wandered. Between this shape and an afterlife, hunting for a copyist of the first Raincoats album, thinks of her sprouting motifs instead, or lying in a parka protected from suns, net hem unravelling. Organic does not remain unthreatened, makes mention of how she discovered that the milk was off, rolls a trumpet out of birch bark, hip to spit out more wordings at cost price, imitates strong wailing available in English, counting the pack animals before they are ridden some distance from Bar Rock and Pastel. In hot pink heel on a shoe hat worn by an heiress, shades who risk travel to the sun and back on a flying one, tipped. With birds, each one passed around, fire of identical lines, razored or hairy aqua, netted earmarks of a developing statement, of fishnets and combats against dippy to brassy garderobe, younger girls passing out phases in orange and fuchsia gold. What commitment fashions as opt-out soon harvested, shifts waver on seams, build as vehicles of quick release. Put some thrash on and stuff your piney whispers. Of days spent pasturing, ready-made containers, boxed lap tips, control, snacks, chemise finalists, on hands-free, daytime, stuff my rented cup, floods our basement, painted winners hum, floral, etch a sketch, rims of murky family, wax ornamental, dry, instant crystal self-goo. Put some thrash on and stuff your piney whispers. Two handles so goods at being in the queue, newly made of tinned fresh out, still chemical, works keep on at use, less spoils, counter-sell beans, policy grows suck, swollen after fall, pouts back to task imagines, train for desk-bound, bleach, marble, strike, quick roots for Hades. Put some thrash on and stuff your piney whispers. Touch feeling marks as stone, a groove known of metals, cash or piss factories, ours for sonic reducers of nightingale, wafting lean on blast, hearty mind of karaoke, anxious for cultivates, dead good in plastic plants. Tonight I aim, bucolic is overheard, not born a billy goat. Put some thrash on and stuff your piney whispers. Fed future bleeps up demographic shapes, hides of mutual calf-yoked pod celebratants, kiss competitors, goth products in hair spill, libations, aisle slick, lips wrung from shot age shred pack, info skins, ecoplasma, kids eaten alive, tax estate granted bleats. Put some thrash on and stuff your piney whispers. Songs at locked doors out disobey certainties. Matter resists matter. Let collagen improve piping. Let the mouse taste the pitch. Let out for the split oops voice or belly crawl. Let's off, give snort to the pep. Let's move to pieces. Let's lay in sheaves of office stationery ground. And we were going to do this thing, which are kind of some new pieces, which are, I think of as invitations. And the first part are extend some of the work in Punk Faun, which were performances for paintings. So maybe if we just do like one.
Sure. First section, I'll tell you.
Okay. So it's from a piece which is called Maybe Fabricated. And Lawrence Wiener said, the piece may be fabricated, the piece need not be built.
Donc, extrait de Peut-être fabriqué, épigraphe. 2. L'œuvre peut être fabriquée. 3. L'œuvre n'a pas besoin d'être construite. Donc, de Lawrence Wiener, extrait de Déclaration d'intention.
Performances for paintings.
Performance pour des peintures.
Saint-Saint-Germanas, Michael and Augustine with Angels, 1319, Simone Martini. Spray a concrete wall gold, stand against it, a net of oranges in one hand.
SS Geminianus, Michael et Augustin avec des anges, aux alentours de 1319, Simone Martini. Vaporise-leur un mur en béton, tiens-toi contre, filet d'orange à la main.
Woman at a window with a copper bowl of apples and cock pheasant, 1663. Choose a cafe with a table in the window. Wear a dress or a scarf printed with daisies and carry a shell in your pocket. Order a chicken sandwich and an apple pie. If anyone speaks to you, offer them a card printed in gold with the words sold.
Femme à la fenêtre avec un bol de cuivre rempli de pommes et un faisan, 1663. Choisis un café avec une table à la fenêtre. Porte une robe ou un foulard imprimé de marguerite et aie un coquillage dans ta poche. Commande un sandwich poulet et une tarte aux pommes. Si quelqu'un t'adresse la parole, offre-lui une carte avec le mot « vendu » en lettres d'or.
Classical landscape with ruins, 1628 to 30. Classical landscape with rocks, 1628 to 30. Bartholomeus Greenberg. Arrange objects in pairs, especially circular ones.
Paysage classique aux ruines, environ 1628-1630. Paysage classique aux rochers, environ 1628-1630. Bartholomé Greenberg. Arrange les objets par paire, surtout circulaires.
The Visitation, 1560. Maso de San Friano. Variation. Make up eyes on cheeks. Go out.
La Visitation, 1560. Maso da San Friano. Variation. Dessine des yeux sur tes joues. Sors.
Dancing Figure, 1555 to 60, Early Nougat. Visit the home furnishing section of the local department store. Ask for swatches of the most ornamental fabric available. Make a cape or dress in this fabric and return to the department store dressed in the outfit. Sit on the matching sofa for 5 continuous hours. If you are asked to leave by a member of staff, then ask to speak to the shop manager and demand a full explanation.
Silhouette dansante, environ 1555-1560. Mugal, première période. Rends-toi au rayon maison et décoration d'un supermarché local. demande des échantillons du tissu le plus décoratif qui soit, faisant une cape ou une robe, et retourne au magasin ainsi vêtu. Reste assis sur le sofa du même tissu pendant 5 heures d'affilée. Si un employé te demande de partir, demande alors de parler au directeur, exige de lui des explications.
Interior with a painter and his family, 1670, Jan Steen. Choose 5 paintings whose title contains or is referred to by critics with the words scenes of peasant life. Ask people which paintings they would most like to have up on the wall in the place where they live. Record the results on a graph or map with reference to their actual postcode. Exhibit the graph with the title Visual Communities. Dedicate de Jacques Rancière.
Intérieur avec un peintre et sa famille, 1670, Jan Steen. Choisis 5 toiles dont les titres contiennent, ou que la critique résume par les mots, scène de la vie paysanne. Demande aux gens quelle peinture ils préféreraient voir chez eux accrochée au mur. Consigne les résultats sur un diagramme ou un plan en notant à chaque fois le code postal. Expose le diagramme en lui donnant le titre, communauté visuelle. Dédie le tout à Jacques Rancière.
Saint Teresa of Avila's Vision of the Dove, 1614, Peter Paul Rubens. To be carried out throughout the course of one day. If a bird or aeroplane passes directly overhead, drop immediately to your knees. After 5 seconds, resume the current tasks or conversations in which you were previously involved without comment.
La vision de la colombe par Sainte Thérèse d'Avila, 1614, Peter Paul Rubens. À faire toute une journée durant. Si un oiseau ou un avion passe juste au-dessus de toi, mets-toi immédiatement à genoux. Attends 5 secondes, puis reprends le cours de ton travail ou des conversations dans lesquelles tu étais précédemment engagé, sans faire de commentaires.
Sunset after rain, 1648-52, Albert Coip. Make fictive windows. Make windows fictive.
Coucher de soleil après la pluie, 1648-1652, Albert Coip. Je change. Fais des fenêtres de fiction, fais des fictions de fenêtres.
Orpheus Charming the Beasts and Birds, 1622, Roland Savory. Visit a zoo or wildlife park and play songs that have made you cry to any of the animals that seem interested.
Orphée charmant bêtes et oiseaux, 1622. Visite un zoo ou une réserve naturelle et passe les chansons qui t'ont fait pleurer aux animaux qui semblent intéressés.
Human Frailty, 1656, Salvatore Rosa. Put on a t-shirt with a picture of an owl on the front. Stand at terminal train stations. Blow bubbles.
Fragilité humaine, 1656, Salvatore Rosa. Mets un t-shirt avec le dessin d'une chouette devant. Poste-toi au terminus des trains. Fais des bulles.
Portrait of an Unknown Man, 1660-66, Frans Hal. Asked to take pictures of men you do not know.
Portrait d'un inconnu, 1660-1666, Frans Hals. Demande à prendre des photos d'hommes que tu ne connais pas.
Sketches of a Kitten, 1712, Alexandre François Desportes. Place ads in the local newspaper seeking the whereabouts of a fight between a dog and a cat in a kitchen interior.
Croquis d'un chaton, 1712, Alexandre François Desportes. Mets des annonces dans le journal local pour localiser combat entre chien et chat en intérieur dans une cuisine.
The Dead Christ Supported by Mourning Angels, 1489, Liberal da Verona. Wrap bedsheet around body. Sit on the side of the bath. Cry.
Le Christ mort soutenu par des anges endeuillés, 1489. Enveloppe le corps d'un drap. Assieds-toi au bord de la baignoire. Pleure.
Portrait of an Unknown Lady, 1595, Nicholas Hillard. Wear clothes to parties that are consistently more interesting than you are.
Portrait d'une inconnue, 1595, Nicholas Hillard. Porte des habits à des soirées qui sont invariablement plus intéressantes que tu ne l'es.
Hindu lady reading a love letter under a tree, 1630-50, Rajputana school. Write a love letter without naming the recipient. Put on shoes or socks or gloves that are liable to stain the skin when they become wet. Take off all your clothes and walk in the rain. Put on a yellow scarf and a sheer skirt or trousers. Go to a public park. Link arms with the branches of a tree and read the letter aloud to whoever happens to be listening.
Femme hindoue lisant une lettre d'amour sous un arbre, 1630-1650, école, Rajputana. Écrit une lettre d'amour sans en nommer le destinataire. Mets des chaussures ou chaussettes susceptibles de tacher la peau quand elles sont mouillées. Dévais-toi et marche sous la pluie. Mets une écharpe jaune et une simple jupe ou un pantalon. Va dans un jardin public, prends un arbre par les branches et lis la lettre à voix haute à ceux qui peuvent entendre. Sure, yeah.
Comical Discovery, 1825 to 8, Goya. Arrange stuffed toys in heart-shaped nets and hang them from the ceiling and in windows that are visible from the street. Visit your neighbours to agree a time when it would be mutually agreeable to throw red paint at the windows of your house from the street outside.
Découverte comique, 1825-1828, Goya. Dispose des peluches dans des filets en forme de cœur et pends-les au plafond, à côté de fenêtres visibles depuis la rue. Rends visite à tes voisins pour convenir d'une heure à laquelle vous pourrez tous ensemble jeter de la peinture rouge sur les fenêtres depuis la rue.
Odalisque reclining on a divan, late 1820s, Eugene Delacroix, for the Jubilee. Make bunting from pornographic magazines.
Odalisque sur un divan, fin des années 1820, Eugène Delacroix pour le Jubilé. Fait une banderole de magazine porno. À une performance de Charles Robinson, qui est écrivain, auteur de 3 livres. Le génie du proxénétisme, publié en 2008 au Seuil, Dans les cités au Seuil en 2011, et Ultimo, qui est le seul que j'ai pris avec moi parce que c'est plus transportable, qui est un livre merveilleux, aux éditions R en 2012. Charles Robinson réalise aussi des objets numériques, des questions écureuils aux éditions R numériques et des objets sonores récemment dans les cités, qui était une pièce radiophonique diffusée sur France Culture dans le cadre de l'atelier de création radiophonique.